Good morning. Good evening. Como allez-vous? Como está? Assalamu alaikum. What's up, bro? This is MUSAU MattmeachamJR signing in on Earth. I decided that I've done an inventory of the books that I've written in the last 10 years. I've done a brief inventory. I've checked the books, and I see that I have quite a bit of material to share with my listening audience. But I was looking at the book that I'm working on, which is Who, Why, and Where is God. I was looking at I'm in the concluding process. I'm in the process of concluding my latest book, and what I'll do after I publish the book, I'll spend most of the time trying to market it. Now, if you have been following me, you know that I started on a book. Started on a book entitled Who, Why, and Where is God? Basically, I got two main characters in the book. One is a Israelite soldier, and the other is a Palestinian soldier. Now, I've come to the end, and we'll see. I think this is a pretty good book and a pretty good idea, and it's a good thing that I'm actually given a preview of the book, because at least it's a way of protecting myself as far as who wrote the book, because what I do now is evidence that this is my material. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to read some portions. I'm going to the end of the book, and I'm going to show you what has happened to the two snipers. I think I'll do a detailed reading, and this will be the last few chapters of the book. Now, what has happened is that both of the snipers, the Palestinian and the Israelite soldier, what has happened is these enemies have found themselves in a dark cave at the conclusion of this particular novel. Let me begin my reading. And right now I'm started in chapter 16. I'll read until I feel that it's enough for my viewing audience. And if I'm if I'm affected, I may do a commentary after the reading. So here we go. We're at chapter 16 of my book, Who, Why, and Where is God? Both of these killers were thrust into another forged reality, which allowed them to view every aspect of their mortal existence. In the darkness, while knowing that the enemy was near and death was imminent. Both of the assassins reflected on their lives and the afterlife. Both executioners began to consider all the incidents and occurrences which made them what they had become. I'm going to go down a few more paragraphs. Then there was a big blast and a sudden light. A missile had blasted a hole in the ceiling of the cave. Both combatants tried diving for cover. They saw each other in that instant. Now it was clear to both of them that the enemy was close. Both fired their weapons. Both were on target. Both adversaries were hit in the leg, and they tumbled together to the floor of the cave, while at the same time, both soldiers let go of their weapons somewhere in the darkness. They both lay on their backs, facing the hole in the ceiling of the cave. All they could perceive were the darkness and the stars in the sky. All these stars were indeed the eyes of God, and these were infinite in their amount. An unspecific light gaped through the hole in the ceiling of the cave. The light was unrecognizable. Both wounded soldiers lay back on their backs in anticipation of the inevitable. Now they became the victims of the assassin's bullet as they lay waiting for death to come. Then all that either of them had to hold on to was the darkness. Darkness. What is it? Should it be defined? Can it be defined? Let's consider the environment of the fetus. Does the womb provide light for life to be advanced? Or does life begin in the hole of the darkness? Perhaps, even here on earth, there may be a creature which has a well-lit womb. But who has informed us of this event? So, that explicates the implication of the darkness. Is it real? Why? There we go again. The question, the eternal interrogatory. These two men had come to terms with their destiny. They were soldiers. Soldiers are armed to kill. That is just a consequential fact of life. Some commit suicide, but most of us would rather live than to die. These two men were entombed by the darkness, which was just the prelude to an eternal terminus. Doesn't the darkness precede death, or is it the light? Meaningless interrogatives. These questions tend to never stop. So what does it all mean? It means that every question always leads to another. And this guarantees the perpetuity of the stubborn interrogative. And what of the interrogative? The interrogative is a semantical designation which leads to investigation, words. But the Word was God. The Word came with God. Ultimately, what could these two wounded soldiers do in this dark cave where death was a certainty? Here, there would be no funeral, nor there be family. And the material bodies which robed them would be digested by the microbes and maggots which rule in this dark cave. Thus, the ultimate significance of life for the mortal being is humbled. So we fuss and fight and compete in a provisional world which is minuscule when compared to the greater universe, which is enormous. Both men were tired and delirious, and their bleeding legs began to ache. The gravid silence was haunting both of them. "Who are you?" shouted Kareem. "I am your executioner," replied Joshua in the darkness. "Oh, I see," said Kareem. "Do you really mock Joshua?" "I am not afraid of death. Are you?" asked Kareem. "What difference does it make?" bellowed Joshua. "Do you want to die? I am a soldier, fool." "You didn't answer the question, my friend." "What?" "You heard me." "Heard what?" Both men were just jesting with the words. Despite the incident and this occasion, they wanted to live. Both of them, while stranded in the darkness, had inward needs to just be human. Perhaps no other occasion would have provoked this sentiment. But sometimes we have no control over the occasion, only because all of us, despite the crime or offense, the blood of humanity still runs through all of our veins. And this commonality, despite anything else, establishes camaraderie. Even as these two enemies suffered with the pain and the overriding evidence that they would die on the ground that they lay on, neither of them could circumvent the certainty of this predicament. The ultimate component which sanctified this occasion was that they were both human beings, born from the wombs of their mothers. That is not the end of the book, but that's at the end of the book. I have probably about another chapter or so, and I will have this book completed. I hope to have it completed within the next 2 weeks, and I should be able to begin marketing it at least by the end of the month. But as I had indicated to you. This book deals with two snipers, one Palestinian, one Israel is an Israelite. And what has happened, I brought these two killers, these two snipers, these two assassins, I brought them together in a dark cave. And what happens, in the darkness, both of them has shot the other in the leg. So you got two bleeding snipers. And when the one shoots the other, both lose their weapons. And then the cave is dark. Both men are wounded. And now they face judgment. The judgment of mortality, the judgment of the human being. But what goes beyond that judgment? And that's the part that I'm dealing with now. I've already put my two main characters in the cave. Both of them are assassins. Now they are to be judged in the darkness. This is MUSAU MattmeachamJR signing out.